Worst. Motherfucker never loved us.
All right, we are back. It's the Unstable Podcast. I'm your girl, Claudia Jordan, in from Mike Hill, sitting at the helm today, trying to get these boys under control. We got our guy, Steve Wilson.
What's happening, y'all? This is the darker section down here. We let her have a light-skinned section down there.
Hysterical.
Only one.
We've got Guy Tori.
Guy Tori in a place to be. Got kicked out of Trump University. What up, y'all?
And special guest, Hollywood comedy royalty, Tony Rock.
Yo, TR-808
What's up, family?
The Rock is in the building.
What's good?
Welcome. We were all blowing you up today because we weren't sure if we had you. So I know me and Steve were like going back and forth. Do we got him? Do we got him?
I had to text Steve with a sincere question. Like I was like, listen, man, it's not a joke. I'm not trying to be funny. Like, seriously. Do I have a bad reputation and not showing up? Because why is everybody blowing me up like I'm not going to?
You never responded to my text. So that means you're not coming.
No, that was the third. That was you were the third text.
But I don't know that, so I could.
So I'm like, why am I still getting these texts?
Here's the thing: it's not you. It's our confidence in Steve. That's
okay. Now that explains it. That explains it.
Steve doesn't follow through sometimes.
No, I follow through all of the time.
No.
Yeah.
Steve smokes a lot of weed. And he has a cat at the house that like, takes up all his time.
Like truth be told, Steve's job is to book the studio for us to do this show.
Yes, it is.
I got here.
Here we go.
On time, like I usually do.
Yeah, when I walked in, you were here. Nobody else was here.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
No. I saw you when you crossed the street. I just couldn't get across the street.
Like I said, when I walked in, you were here.
How the guest beats the executive producer here though? That's a little bit,
LA
crazy.
traffic.
But then when I got here,
LA
we had
traffic.
no studio. They said you guys are not booked today. I'm like, what? They said, no, we didn't. You're not booked. We have a free studio. We'll slide you in. But Steve did not follow through on booking of the studio.
Here's the thing. I sent 2 emails, but Jerron let me know that obviously when I hit reply, it just sent it back to me instead of sending it to her.
And
so I sent a follow-up email to myself again saying, hey, are we good? Waiting.
Wait, how you send a reply to yourself?
And then why did yourself not respond? Why did yourself not respond?
She hit me. Hilarious.
Like you just didn't respond to
So
yourself.
she hit me up, and normally we hear all the time anyway, so I just assumed it was going to be all good. I asked for an extra half hour, to be honest.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's why you shouldn't get your GED. You should actually finish high school and get all your education because Steve has a GED and he fucks up on a regular like that.
He a damn lie. Listen, we get the studio every week. We had the studio last week at a whole club. Everything went good.
Sure.
I sent the emails 2 times. I made a mistake, but we in here. So.
Steve, are you high right now?
Yeah.
No,
like
not
you
at all.
seem high.
No, not at all.
Or you
not
might
yet.
Or a little strokey. You're a little strokey.
A little strokey.
I'm
so concerned.
You know what I mean?
A little strokey.
A little strokey. Yeah.
Talk like Mitch McConnell.
Got the Gary Payton mouth.
No. Don't do the Bobby Brown. Not the Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown.
Not the Bobby Brown. No.
All right, so we got a guest host. We'll call you a guest host today.
Yeah, guess
Yeah, you fitting in with us real good.
And speaking of hosting, you have a new show that you're hosting. Tell us all about it.
I have a new show that premieres on HBO December 1st called All Def Comedy. Russell Simmons' new imprint is All Def. It's not Def Jam anymore.
Right.
Because he sold his stake in Def Jam, but he kept up. He wants to still be Def affiliated. So it's All Def Comedy. It's the remake, relaunching, rebirth of Def Comedy Jam.
You're the new host.
And I am the new host. We got picked up for 6 episodes,
Nice,
premiering December 1st on HBO.
How did that feel, man? I mean,
Nice.
Def Jam has a great history. Now you got the baton of All Def Comedy.
Yeah.
How did that feel being the host of the show? Because I know Def Comedy Jam inspired me to do stand up.
Yeah.
You know, so that was when I did the show. It was like, wow. Now being the host of the show, what does that feel like?
It's a progression. Like you're right. Def Comedy it made us all want to be,
exactly
comedians. But it's like a progression. Like I went from the guy in the back of the room to the guy with a good seat to the guy that did the show to the guy that hosts the show now.
Right.
So the progression is just amazing. It's just
now you did something. I think we're the only brothers that can say this on Def Comedy Jam. When I did Def Comedy Jam, my brother was the host, Joe Torre. He brought me out. Now you hosted the show and you brought
I brought out
your
Jordan.
brother out, Jordan Rock.
Jordan Rock's my favorite comedian.
Yeah, little bro, how did that feel, man?
It was amazing, man. Little bro, been putting work in New York. Been begging me to go on the road for years, and I just kept stay in New York, take your lumps, pay your dues.
Right.
It's like boxing. You got to you got to spar first before I can say, okay, he's ready for a fight.
That's funny because I had the opportunity to do Def Jam the last season. Martin hosted.
Right.
And Joe was like, my brother was like, man, you ain't ready. You ain't ready.
Yeah, see, I told Jordan, just sit in New York.
Right.
New York's gonna, steel sharp is steel in New York.
How old is Jordan now, to be honest? How
25.
25. I remember Jordan when he was like 7. This is what year did Chris host the Oscars? Because I got a cool story about y'all.
I don't remember the exact year,
So
because he hosted twice.
That was like in 04, 05 or something. Because I was doing Fat Tuesdays. He came by.
Yeah, I was still on all of us then. So yeah,
the coolest thing, we happened to stop by at the Comedy Store on Tuesday or Wednesday night, and it was just me, you, Chris and your little brother Jordan up there. And Chris was talking about how, like, it was crazy. Like, he talked to his mom like everybody else. Like, yeah, mommy was talking to me about the Oscars, and she put Miss Johnson on the phone, and they was critiquing me. And I was like, that happens to you too? Like, wow. And then Jordan was asking, like, hey, man, I want to do comedy. And I was watching y'all talk to him and school him, and I was just sitting there like a fly on the wall, and it was kind of cool to watch. And he was like, Chris was like, listen, I ain't going to tell you what he said, but, I'll do X, Y, Z for you, but I ain't going to, go to school and just do this. And I was like, wow, this is
my thing was, I'm not going to do anything for you. I'll just observe from afar.
Exactly. Same
and make sure nobody bothers you and nobody's like, oh, Chris brother, he good. Right. Make sure he don't got to go through all that bullshit that I went through.
Because you don't play.
But
I'm not going to
interfere. I'm going to let him, pay his dues and put his work in.
One thing I said
go
about you, Tony, and I got to give you your props. Like, you're mad humble. Like, your family's famous, you're famous, you're successful. Like, you don't act like it at all. And I got to give you, and a lot of comedians are kind of weird.
Tony is
I don't know how to be.
Wait, did I just call you Chris or I called you Tony?
You told me Tony.
Okay.
But I don't know how to be the guy that went from nothing that was raised a certain way. I truly don't know how to be the guy that was like, grew up humble beginnings in the hood. Mother and father just trying to keep us on the straight and narrow, to a guy that has something, and all of a sudden he's a new person.
But it happens. You've seen it.
I see it every day.
Do not bring G-Thing into this conversation.
Oh, my God.
I tell people all the time, my mother's a school teacher, my father was a truck driver. I conduct myself like my mother's a school teacher and my father's a truck driver.
We've had fun. I seen him in New York. I think I invited him to one of my birthday parties.
Yes.
And I was, we were texting each other like, I'm like, come through. He showed up so drunk. We got into an argument in the middle of the street. He doesn't even remember. He's like, what the fuck? I came all the way out here. And he was like yelling at me on my birthday. And the next day I was like, yo, my nigga, like, you was like tore up. He had no record. You don't remember, right?
I remember one year.
What were we arguing about?
It was something about my people wasn't getting in or something like that.
Oh.
But I remember one year at the Soul Train Awards, I saw you, and you had like some friends with you, and you were like, hey, you have any extra passes? Because I got my people. And I'm like, well, let me go check, because they invited me. So I'm assuming they're going to give me some kind of special treatment. So I'm like, hey, I need like 2 more passes.
And they was like, no.
No. I'm like, yo, y'all invited me out here. I started going crazy. Like, yo, how the fuck y'all going to? And I went back to her a few minutes later, like, you good? Your people good? She was like, yeah, we're fine. Like nigga, you got to bring it down something. Like,
oh, he gets crunk.
So how's your relationship with you and Chris? And you and Jordan. Is your relationship better with Jordan or Chris?
My oldest brother who passed away, Charles, rest in peace, love him to death. Yeah. He was my hero.
To heaven.
He was to heaven. Yeah, he was my hero. He was 19 years old when I was born.
Got it.
My father had him when he was 15 years old. So he changed his name to Shabazz later on. So when I say Shabazz or Charles, I'm talking about the same guy.
Right.
So Shabazz was in prison when I was born. He got out of prison. And he was told when he was in jail, like, hey, your mother had another kid. His name is Anthony. You got to go home and meet him. And he said he got out that summer and couldn't wait to meet me. And he and I were like thick. Like, that was my hero. Taught me, brush your teeth every morning and make sure your hair good, iron your clothes.
Right.
Don't talk to women like this. Don't grab a girl. Never put your hands on them. Like, all that stuff. So I had 2 dads growing up. I had my dad that was like, work hard, take care of your sisters, your mother and all that. My cool dad that was, this how you get fresh. Haircut always.
Right.
Talk to women like this, So he was my guy.
Got it.
The difference with me and Jordan is such a big age difference that now I'm his Charles.
Oh,
got it.
High.
Okay.
So he's like tones the man. I'm like, listen, man, you got to do this, and this is how you talk to people, and when you're in these meetings. And now that he's going on the road, I'm like, anytime you get a gig, call me, because I've done that club, and I'll let you know what to look out for if it's a shady promoter or shady owner or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm his Charles. Chris and I. Real talk was like, I was when I was growing up, I always wanted to be around him. I was always like, he's big bro, so big bro gets to do everything first.
Yeah.
But he was more of like, get out of here. I don't want my little brother around.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, hey, you going to play baseball? Can I come? Get out of here. You going to the movies? Can I come? Get out of here. You going to do this? Can I come? Get out of here. So our relationship, if you see us interact to this day, he'll be in the comedy store over there, and I'll be over here like this. Like, I don't bother him. No, we close. If I call him right now, answer the phone, we good. But it's not that type of like, palsy-wowsy.
Yeah.
He's just like, it was always get out of here. So I literally was like, all right, I'll get out of here.
And Joe and I relationship was like that for a while, and then it got estranged for a bit.
Right.
And then, when we did the Hollywood Unsung, it got a little bit better.
Which was dope, by the way.
That was very dope.
Appreciate
Super
it, man.
dope.
And then now what really I think brought us back together was the Def Jam 25 celebration.
Oh, yeah?
That's recent.
Yeah.
So y'all just made up.
Yeah, they just made
like a week ago.
Just fresh. Don't say nothing. It's fresh. Be quiet, Tony. It's fresh.
Joe,
Let it go.
Like I was gonna be in town, so I wasn't gonna go. And then Joe got some passes, and he said, "Look, man, I got 4 tickets, 2 camera seats. I want you to sit next to me."
Yes, absolutely.
On Def Jam. And I was like, wow. So I canceled one of my shows and said, "I'm going back to LA." That right there was like huge. So now our relationship is a lot better than it was.
Good.
Even when we shot the Unsung. So
Yeah.
Well-
So like one more thing, like me and Chris is not that palsy wowsy, but I don't want to give the impression it's not close. Like,
Right.
Of course.
he's the guy that
Right.
if I do a show, he'll come to the show and won't tell me.
Right.
And he'll just be in the back in the corner, like just watching. And when it's over, he's like, "Yo, good stuff." Jordan's the guy that's on the side, like,
Right,
"Yo,
right.
He's
yeah,
cheerleader.
oh my god, yeah."
Right.
Jordan's like, "The Tone's killing." You know,
Listen, I know how tight y'all fam is. I saw you put your hands on somebody to defend your brother. We ain't gonna say his name because we ain't gonna do that. But he ran his mouth like, yo,
Another comedian?
Yeah, you know how comedians go on stage and they work out and you just working out. This
Right.
is Chris Rock in LA. He's just working out. So every joke ain't gonna hit because he's working out. Dude in the back like, yo, this dude washed up. Tone the gentleman like, yo, man, come on, that's my brother. He a legend. Watch your mouth.
Absolutely.
Who was it?
And I ain't
Give
gonna
us
say
a-
his
give us a
name, but he
hint.
talk his mouth like, yo, man, I don't give a damn who he is. And
Oh,
Tone was like,
he got a big
all
tongue?
right, well, all right.
he got a big tongue.
Is that your friend?
No, it can't be.
No.
It can't. That's
So
Danny.
all
It's not
I
Danny.
know is he talks some stuff. And Tone respected
Dan
the
is my
handle his
dude.
family.
Oh, I was making sure. Okay, all right.
we
so
don't say names, but he handles
we
his
actually
business.
do say names here on the Unstable Podcast. Do not get our guests being politically correct with that bullshit. This is supposed to be a fun show. So, okay, so now we got some topics we would like for you to speak on. We're
Let's
going to
go.
talk
Let's
about
go.
some discussions.
Let's go.
Oh, we got our music ready to go. Because you've been kind of slipping lately.
Oh.
Okay. we got a segment
Hot
of music.
topic.
And her.
He was
Never
ready,
slipping.
you see.
You're never slipping.
Never slipping.
Okay, we'll talk about your Tinder date later.
Oh.
All right. All right. This week in the news, we've got more Tyrese updates. Tyrese,
Yeah.
he actually, it came out that, he actually went on social media and said that, I've been tripping. I've been tripping the last 2 months. I've
But you
been on
knew it.
this medication, and that's why I've been acting up and wilding out. That's not been me. It's been the drugs.
I can
wow.
see that.
He was on some kind of medication
believe
for
it.
either
I did not hear this.
bipolar disorder or schizophrenic.
I don't know. But
That
I
seems
believe
to be
it.
a go-to with the people in Hollywood who kind of like, speak out like that.
It's like I was hacked or I was on drugs.
But
But,
you can
exactly.
tell he was a little off. Be honest, man.
but he's been off for longer than 2 months.
But
Ask TGT. Ask his ex-wife. Ask everybody that follows him on Twitter. Tyree's been off for a long time. And look, listen, I used to interview him like 10 years ago. And I never knew what Tyrese I would get. I would have anxiety, like, okay, because sometimes he's mad cool and
That's true.
sometimes he's not, and it scares me.
It's like
And that's 10 years ago.
It's like my man T.O. T.O.'s the same way. You never
never
know
know.
which Terra Orange you're gonna get. You get the cool ass Terra Orange from Alabama, where he's from, and then you get the other T.O., which is like that T.O.
I don't know T.O., but I've rarely seen the cool T.O.
I've seen it.
I don't know. I mean, not the homie, not like that, but every
Right.
interview it's like, dude, come on, man.
I've
It's
seen
you, man. It's
I've
you.
seen the cool T.O. more than the other T.O., the alter ego T.O.
And I'm just going based on the interviews.
Right,
like,
right,
I don't know
right.
where I got this reputation from. Fam, come on. You
Right.
know it's
when you
you.
in your driveway doing crunches,
If 100
crying.
people say it's you, they not all wrong.
Yeah,
man.
if the common denominator is you,
Yeah.
then 9 times out of 10 is you. You gotta look in the mirror.
We
Stop
go
talking
bowling.
about Mike Hill, damn it.
Well,
We
yeah,
would go bowling sometimes, like a group of us, and I'd invite him, and he can bowl his ass
Yeah.
off. T.O. can bowl, right?
Like
and
pro
we have a
level.
great time. And then if I went bowling like a couple weeks later, I'd invite him, he'd be like, that's fucked up. You didn't hit me. And I'm like, what? Like, he would cuss me out.
You get that a lot, Claudia.
I get cussed out.
Every
Every
day
day
she on Facebook. Why they messing with me?
Now, I'm sure we all have Tyrese stories, right? Oh, wait, didn't the drug company fire back and say...
They clapped back. They
And-
clapped back and said
What
that
is
it's not the drug doesn't do that. He's using it as an excuse. So that's what happens though.
Wow.
I remember when
see?
I got a Tyrese story. Fuck it, I'll go first.
Go for it.
Hopefully he won't hear this. So I remember when I first came to LA, like it was like 1998. Okay, I had the pager.
The pager.
I had a pager.
The sky
and I met
pager.
him somewhere and he like asked for it. I gave him the number, whatever. So he would hit me up sometimes and he asked me out and I never went out with him. I just something didn't feel right. You know what I mean? And so one time he hit me and I called him back and he's like, yo, I don't know if I could keep holding the Spanish babe off. I think it was Rosalind Sanchez he was saying was like on him. He's like, so you might want to, get on with it. Get it.
That is
because
the best
you about to
game I've
lose your
ever
spot.
heard in my life.
And I was like, no, she can go ahead. She can go.
He hit you with the hurry up
He
before
hit
I
me with
change
the,
my mind.
You're going to miss your opportunity.
Wow.
And I was like, thank you.
That's brilliant.
He was
Yeah.
trying to. So since we telling Tyrese stories, shout out to Tyrese by the way.
right.
We
Shout
love you,
out.
fam.
He was trying to, one of my homegirls back in New York was signed to Murder Inc. back in the day when like Murder Inc. was popping. White girl like a sing for real, right? And she was in LA visiting. She's staying at my crib, and she was just like, "Oh my!" I heard in the room like, "Oh, this dude is so corny. Oh my god!" So I'm like, "Yo, you good?" And she comes out the room like, listen, and puts the speakerphone on, and Tyrese is like serenading her. And he's just like, let's making the song up. I wanna take you out, take you to dinner. And I'm just like, who is that? She's like, it's Tyrese.
Oh man.
And I'm just dying laughing.
Pussy,
and he's like, you in LA, but you won't come see me. This random thoughts in his head. I'm just like dying.
Be honest, if you could sing, you wouldn't do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
Come on, man. I can't sing
If
at
I
all.
could sing, I would sing. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would call chicks.
You wouldn't
I
use
have
it
no
to get
game,
women.
so that would have been me. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
That would have been me, man. I have no game, man. If I could sing, I'd have about 9 babies out there right now.
Do you have a Tyrese story?
I don't, man. I mean, not bad. I don't. He used to come to Fat Tuesdays, man. Whenever he was there, he'd sing Happy Birthday to the birthday girls I brought on stage. So I don't have a bad Tyrese story.
He's such a dope artist too. Like when he's on, he is on.
Phenomenal.
And he has chops. He has acting chops
That last
too.
album was a motherfucker.
But here's the thing, man. We're all artists. We're all fucked up. All of us, man. Claudia, you crazy. Tony, you got a little bit crazy in
That's
you.
true.
Steven, I don't know. Steven's not an artist. But I got a little crazy in me. But we all crazy. So, I mean, you chalk it up to the crazy game.
But when you get to the point where you start sabotaging your own career with your crazy,
But they don't know they're sabotaging.
You have to know.
No,
You're on social media.
Well,
like
here's
you've
what I
been
don't
doing it for a
understand.
long time.
How many people are in his real circle? Because he been wilding on social media for like, let's say 3 days. Ain't nobody pull that brother aside.
I was at Dame Dash's house.
That's when you see who has real friends around.
Right,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I mean that's 3 videos you don't drop with anybody. Like, come on, man.
So
But
I
some
was
people
at,
don't listen, though.
I was at Dame Dash's house last night because we're working on a film. He was showing me the latest cut of this film we did, and he just was like coming back from Tyrese's house. He's like, I had to go talk to my man Tyrese. So he's trying to like talk to him.
Right.
There are people that are trying, but
Right.
I think he's kind of one of those people that is a know-it-all. I don't think he's up for listening to
Yeah, you
other
got to be in
people.
a place to receive that shit.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of has a victim kind of feel about himself where
It's
everything's
nothing-
against him.
It's nothing more nerve-wracking than trying to talk to a motherfucker that know everything.
And I think now his Instagram is private now.
Oh, yeah,
It's like
it is
now
private.
we can't follow him
As a
anymore.
black woman, where will I get all my advice that I need from Tyrese if his page is blocked?
And you know what's crazy? I was totally supporting this dude in the beginning. I was like, yo, you know what? Because people was
Me
making
too.
jokes about him
Right.
crying.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, man, this dude's out here with baby mamas and
Right.
that
Right.
don't see their kids at all,
Right.
that don't even make an attempt to see their kids.
Right.
So the fact he's going hard to see his kid, I was like, yo, I respect that. Then he started with the crazy going a little off the edge,
And
and I
now
was
they're
like, okay.
saying that the Will and Jada didn't give him
No, they didn't
the
give him
$5
money.
million.
Did you see
But
the
he
video
was
with
on drugs. That's why he said that.
You see the video? He had the fur on. He's like, shout out to Coke for the product placement. I'm
Yeah.
waiting on this Will Smith wire.
Yeah.
I was like, you look so crazy right now.
Yeah.
And you remember that he almost lost that Apple deal for Dre
yeah.
when they got
yeah.
when it approaches Beats.
This is way longer than 2 months.
What
you
happened
guys.
was he was on Instagram or he was on social media
Spilling the beans.
and spilling the beans that
Oh,
the deal,
the billionaire, the
Yeah,
first
the-
billionaire
yeah.
in hip hop. Yeah,
the deal
yeah.
that was supposed to happen, he kind of blurted out before it was really done.
He was on
And-
Instagram
and Jimmy
Live, like,
Iovine
we
was
did
like,
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jimmy Iovine was like, "What the fuck are you
Yeah.
doing?"
And you know what? I gotta say this as a good friend of Genuine's. He's one of my dearest friends. 20 years we got, right? It's kind of ironic how the things he's complaining about The Rock, like kind of like not being considerate of him as far
Right.
as like the career moves.
Right.
But you shitted on TGT. You really did. Like he wanted 50% of the money and he
Right.
wanted to split the bills in thirds. And like that's been stopping those other two cats. Like they make their money from music alone.
Right.
So when you want to take a lion's share of the money, like why you're a grown man. You're not even the biggest musical star in the group. The group Genuine is. He sold way more albums.
Well, can I ask you something though? If you're a
That's
really
the
good friend
payback
of
right there.
Genuine, he's a really good friend of yours.
Yes.
You never told him about his baby hair. Stop doing that shit.
He doesn't do it
He been
anymore.
stopped
Stop doing baby hair. Okay.
Yeah.
Ben, stop. Where you
Eric Benet
been,
wears
Steve?
shoes. I'm late. I don't know
We're
what's
gonna get
going
them
on.
both in here when they come to town.
Hey, and you know Luther Vandross is dead, right?
Shut the fuck up. Go to commercial.
All right, another story with all the allegations of
Man.
sexual abuse in Hollywood, which just seems to come out. It's a floodgate now.
Yeah.
The Los Angeles County District Attorney announced Thursday the creation of a special task force to examine allegations. So they're setting up a special task force just for Hollywood with all these sexual abuse allegations.
Here's the thing, man. I'm happy it's happening. And I know a lot of guys are against me on that. They're like, oh man, these bitches thirsty. They just trying to come out now and all that. It should have never happened in the first goddamn place. And I know
Exactly.
some women probably are fake reporting and all that stuff. But the fact that men hold this power over women like that is a shame. I mean, because what was happening is it's happening not just to women either though. It's men
Right.
too.
Yep.
So it's like it needs to come out.
Terry
it needs
Crews.
to fucking stop.
Right.
You know?
And shout out to the men that are bold enough to come out and the
Terry
women.
Crews
It's
came
hard
out.
to come out.
Who else came out? It was somebody else came out.
Corey Haim said he just got
Corey
straight
Haim.
raped.
Yeah.
Corey Haim came out a long time ago. Nobody believed him.
Yeah.
I sent you that video when he was on The View.
Yeah.
Corey Feldman was on The
Corey
View.
Feldman
But both of them got raped, though.
Yeah. Corey Feldman was on The View in 2020,
And
talking
Barbara
about Barbara
Walters,
and Sherry Shepard telling them about this child pornography ring, or the child
pornography ring,
pedophilia ring. And they looked at him like he was crazy, basically. But it's true.
Tom-
Where the smoke, there's fire.
Tom Sizemore just got let go of film.
Yeah.
Like messing with an 11-year-old girl.
Wow.
Got ran off the set.
Somewhere R. Kelly's like,
Right.
it wasn't just me.
I just peed on a bitch.
Right.
All of this shit going down. You know who's happy about all this? If there's one person that's like, woo. Kevin Hart's like, all the heat's on me. All I did was cheat consensually.
Right. He said, hold on.
She
just so
wanted
y'all
the
know.
dick, I wanted the pussy. We good.
My bitch was grown.
Yeah.
My bitch
I
was-
didn't take nothing.
Right. It's kind of crazy, but we hear the whispers. We've been hearing the whispers for a long time. And when I go back to Rhode Island, I talk to my people about Hollywood, and they look at me like, "There's no way it's really like that. Like you're exaggerating."
Please.
I'm like, "No, it's such a climate where you're always feeling like you're just, I don't know, like just dodging bullets at all times, like trying to just like get away from situations."
I never believed him. He used to tell me this all the time. I mean, I'm not gonna say again. I'm not saying no names, but he'd be like, "Yo, he might be." I'm like, "Come on, everybody." I'm starting to believe it now.
Here's the thing, though, and I was in Dayton, Ohio last weekend, and I got into a conversation at a cigar shop with some guys who ain't in the business. And they were on the side of, oh man, what you gotta do with a woman now? Any woman can just accuse you of so and so and now and da da da. And I said, well, man, when you're in a position that you're an entertainer or you got a lot of money or a lot to lose, then don't do it.
Right.
What if we in Vegas at a crap table and these girls will come back up to the suite and so and so? I said, hey man, and what you gotta do is have your phone and just silently record what's going on.
Every goddamn thing, videotape.
Just record it and what's going on, so you have somewhat of a paper trail to say that she was actually initiating the stuff too. But other than that, though, it's like if you got a lot to lose, fuck it.
You got to be smarter.
It's those thoughts, and like I said last week's show, think before you thought.
Yeah.
Think before you thought. If you're married and got a family and a wife and you got all that shit to lose over some thought, think before you fucking thought.
Keep
It
your
ain't
ass
worth it.
at
You put
home.
all your shit on the craps table, basically, for a nut that lasts like
There's
probably
the-
10 minutes tops.
No, not 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Who you fucking Zeus?
That's what that's
Really?
It's funny you said that because
3 minutes.
I say that
Christ.
that same thing somewhat on stage. I say, you know how people say it ain't tricking if you got it.
Right.
It's like no, it's still tricking. You just got it.
Yeah.
What they
Right.
should say is it ain't tricking if she's worth it.
Right.
There you go.
Because if
I
a
like
girl's
that.
worth it, there's no issue with spending any
Exactly.
amount of money on a girl.
Exactly.
And I've seen I got a lot of friends that have lost good women over chicks that ain't worth it.
Exactly.
Amen.
And
That's my whole thing. It's like, yo, if she
Amen.
ain't worth it, I'm
Don't
always
step
I
out
got
at
friends
all.
that don't see their children, their mother looking at them
Over a
sideways
piece of ass.
over a chick that wasn't nowhere near worth
I've
it.
seen
Exactly.
friends get hit upside their head by their mama.
Mike Hill.
We ain't saying
But
names.
most men do cheat down. Most people cheat. Most men I do see cheat down. They cheat down.
No,
It's smart, though. It's smart.
No. Most men cheat easy, and easy is usually
Right.
down.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me
And
tell you
she's usually
something.
down.
For
And
sure.
my
I
thing-
have. Go ahead.
My thing is this: I've been in this game for 25 years. I'd be damned if I throw away 25 years of hard work over a piece of ass. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen.
I cannot tell you as a woman in this business how many men who like are newlyweds have so much to lose, CEOs, owners of teams, like very, very, very famous actors that like are so recognizable by the first name only. It's just they are so willing. They're so willing, whether it's me, my friends, or just people I see. I'm like, I can't believe how reckless you're being right now in public.
You know why? You know why they cheat down? Because I have a friend that said his wife is so arrogant because she hangs in the circles that she won't believe that he's banging a chick
Right.
from Arby's. He said even if she came up
You
with
have a thing with Arby's, don't
we
you?
used to work there. But it was
Who's
girl
we?
from
Who's
Arby's.
we?
I used to work at Arby's.
Oh, you said
He's
we.
always telling me I need
we-
to be with a man from Arby's. I'm like, for what?
So really, he was dating. I mean, on the low, dating her. But he's like, this she'll never. Even if she came up, my woman would be like, there's no way in the world my man with all this gonna be messing with a chick from Arby's.
There's a former NBA player who's probably the top rate of NBA players of all. But I'm not saying any names.
Okay.
But when he cheated with someone who had something to lose too. Like Like he didn't cheat with them from random. It was like, okay,
Yeah.
you in charge of a lot of
let me
money. You
try
got a
to
lot of
figure
money
this
too.
out.
You got something to lose too.
Give
So if
us
you
a hint.
snitch, you losing all your shit too.
The rule is only fuck Oprah if you're gonna cheat.
I was on a plane one time sitting next to this doctor, and he was an abortion doctor. Okay.
Hilarious.
Oh, he got mad side
What
chicks.
do you have hanging? What do you have
girl,
hanging
this
in his
free.
carry-on?
He like, listen,
I mean-
I got you.
So listen, he's telling me stories about Hollywood, right?
Right.
He was like, you know, there was this girl that came in, and she was pregnant by a very, very famous Laker. Duh. And, and she got pregnant, and the lawyer had a check. Like the agreement was she'd get $1 million if she go through with the abortion. The limousine was outside the clinic,
Man.
ready to sign the papers, sign the check once she
Once he
went
did
through
it.
with Yeah, and she did it.
She did it.
She did it.
She's gonna pay for that on Judgment Day. That's for
She
sure.
killed the baby for $1 million.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Man, that's
Y'all
gonna be
kill
some-
babies for $450. Like, please miss me with this.
Y'all who?
Sympathy. You never had an
I
abortion?
never
First
killed
of
the
all-
baby.
Really?
first of
Never
all-
killed the baby.
None of y'all?
No.
Never
Man,
killed the
I
baby.
make sure they drink them. I eat pineapple.
Oh
You gonna
my
drink these
God.
babies.
You know what?
You gonna drink these babies. All of them. Open up.
Well, that's rare because like usually when I have these conversations with men, they're almost like gleefully bragging about it.
No, I got friends that do that too, and I'm like,
Like,
yo,
I'm
fam,
like,
you know
yo.
you joking around about something
Yeah.
super serious right now.
Yeah, I've made jokes.
Well, this is an Unstable Podcast, y'all. We're going to go to a break right now. But before we go to break, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Unstable with the D, Unstable Podcast. Also on Facebook, Unstable, apostrophe D. On YouTube, Unstable Podcast, all with a D, y'all. And email us sometimes too at unstablepodcast@gmail. Unstablepodcast@gmail. We'll be back in a minute. Unstable Podcast.
Unstable back from our fake commercial. Claudia Jordan, Guy Torrey, our
Tyrese.
special guest, the TR-808, Tony Rock in the building. All Def Digital checks I see.
A lot of checks, man. You got All Def Digital. You got a sitcom
All
coming.
Def Comedy.
All Def Comedy. That's something. All Def Comedy.
He is the new hood Steve Harvey. He getting all the Hollywood jobs.
Yeah.
So you got a girlfriend? You got a lot
I
of
have a
girls?
girlfriend, yes.
Yeah?
She's
How
in the
long?
house right now cooking.
And he work at Arby's.
Yeah,
He do it all.
How long y'all been
I'm
serious?
stable, man. It'll be 3 years and
Fuck you doing this show? We unstable.
I like that. I like that. You got
CJ,
that-
I met her for the first time. Let me tell you something. Me
Oh,
and this
yeah,
brother,
yeah, yeah.
me and
Dime
this-
piece, too.
me and
Dime
this
piece.
brother go way
Yes,
back. And
yes.
this is the first time. I mean, this make me feel good
my
to meet
first
his
time on the
woman.
road, I was
right.
he was working with Steve.
He always go ahead and tell a story. He tried to act like I ruined him, which I
No,
didn't.
I just didn't know. You
Oh, so you was
enlightened
already
me.
ruined.
You enlightened me.
Oh, okay. All
that you
right.
were ruined? That you were ruined?
I went to the Cleveland Improv, my first time ever in Cleveland, and Steve was the host. And I didn't know how the road really
Works, right.
So I did the show, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll go back to the hotel. Not even a hotel at the time. That's when they had me in the
the
condo.
condo, at the condo, right.
Yeah, they was getting me for a bargain.
All right.
That was in the Spaghetti Factory. That
Yes,
big building.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
So I'm
yeah,
walking back across the street to the condo to go to sleep. I guess that's the end of the night.
Silly
and Steve's like,
Negro.
"What are you doing?" I'm like, "Show's up. I'm going back to the room." Nah, man, we going out. And I'm like, "Okay, I bet I don't know anybody here. Let's go." And he just took me.
Tiffany's was across the street.
Look, every strip club, every party.
Lord.
Look, we walk into a club, and he's walking to the front like, "Yo, me and my man. Oh, Steve, you good?" And I'm like,
So he's a
I'm like,
regular,
Steve's the
clearly.
man.
I
Okay.
used to have a problem.
And we went out every night of the week.
I used to have a problem. You know when you're
And
a
I said,
pure
that's
road
how the road
comic,
is. I didn't know the road
Do you
was
know
like that.
how-
Tony has
Shane
not
is-
stopped.
He proposed to a stripper, hooker, prostitute. He thought he had a baby for some months that he was taking care of. That
We've
wasn't
all
his
had a
kid.
life.
He
We've
had
all
a
had
lot
a
of
life.
stuff. He has a lot of trauma.
Tone,
in his
no,
life.
Tone, and I used to have a problem. You know, I
Yeah.
used to be an N-word, but I've changed.
Are you a little like
He's-
kind of like a sex addict? a
He's
little
not
I used
WGK
to
anymore.
be. No, no, right.
He used to be WGK. That was
Right.
his name, WGK.
bit? What's that mean?
Well, Steve got
I
He's
used to
the
have a lot
white
of
girl
white-
king.
When I went on the road and white girls was like, you was funny.
I'm talking about he was
He was the white girl. Now he's
Listen,
a Korean girl.
I've
king.
systems. He was like, get out of the way.
Oh, really?
No, he not. I wasn't
No,
like
yes,
that.
you were,
Tone.
Steve.
No,
So
he
you
was
Yes,
like,
you
get
were.
out the way.
Yes, you were.
So you
White
were-
girl come in through.
No.
So you were one of
listen.
those coons?
No, not at all.
That's who you are?
Don't let
That's
him,
who you
listen,
really
listen,
are?
Let me tell you something.
Little
Don't
self-hating
believe him.
coon?
I was only a Republican for 8 years. No, I'm just
Jesus
joking. Never.
Christ.
No.
Steve.
All right.
He's not lying, Steve. I know
Here
you.
on the Unstable Podcast, we've got our word of the day, Guy
Absolutely.
Torrey.
Everybody knows Steve has his GED, so we're
Yes,
trying
we
to
do.
enlighten him with words that he should use in his everyday vocabulary, and maybe some of you all.
This better be good.
The word of the day is infallible. Infallible, all right? It's an adjective. The definition is incapable of expressing in words, like unexplainable. Let me use this in a sentence for you, okay? Infallible. The last time I tried to get romantic with this chick and massage her feet, the smell, bunions, and corns made that shit an infallible experience.
First of all, what's wrong with corns? Some of us ran track.
Well,
and we're models. I'm just saying.
I don't need Braille when I'm rubbing your goddamn feet. Infallible. Use it in a sentence. It means unexplainable, like Claudia's feet. Unexplainable.
Okay.
Steve, you go first.
What the hell was that?
He's watching cartoons.
Teron is
This
the
dude is
nerd.
here.
Yeah.
In our head is cartoons going on. Infallible. What's the word?
Infallible.
Infallible. Some people are so infallible to work with, you just got to quit.
Shade, shots fired.
Shout out
Shout out
Me?
to
Me?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
It is infallible to think that I haven't been on this show sooner.
How about
There you
that?
Oh, well, you're right. You're right. But you know, you got 8 jobs, motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
You gotta get you when you get you, goddamn.
Nigga, this only our 10th episode. You got 8 jobs, so we only have 2 opportunities.
Right.
It's crazy that you guys didn't believe me and thought it was infallible that all these men are really homosexuals and predators and pedophiles out here in LA.
I really apologize to you because I did not believe that at all. I swear I'm the first one. I was telling Guy and Claudia, I apologize. This shit is real out here.
And it's infallible how much like men just really in the city just don't want pussy.
Yeah, that is infallible.
That is
They
infallible.
really don't.
That's infallible.
They really don't. And then
That's
the ones you do
infallible.
get, they can hardly keep an erection. And then
Hey,
the ones,
damn it, we take
I'm
pills.
just saying.
I mean, oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I struck a nerve. Okay, that wasn't really to you.
It's out of love. We still care.
Speaking of not being able to get an erection, here's someone that did. Producer Benny Medina is accused of attempted rape by an actor. They said that he held him down and tried to take the booty.
Yeah.
Held
So-
him down.
That Benny was the aggressor.
Wait, it's a woman that.
No, it's a guy.
Wow.
It's a man. It's a man. It's
Wow.
a man.
Yeah.
So he denies it. He said he denies the rape. The allegation was made by what's this guy's name? Dotley. This guy named Jason Dotley. They were apparently at his house.
And those who don't know, Benny Medina is the show The Fresh Prince
Fresh
was
Prince.
kind of based off his life story, basically. He was one of the creators of The Fresh Prince.
And he managed Mariah Carey, right?
And Jennifer Lopez
Jennifer
too.
Lopez,
too, yeah.
Friends with Diddy. He worked with Diddy.
Okay.
And there's rumors.
Did he? No.
Benny Medina, he's an amazing manager, and there's been rumors about him for years about the creation of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and all that kind of stuff. And he's a very, very successful manager in the business, like top notch. So there's people around him that want to get put on, I'm sure, and then I don't know.
Put on,
Yeah.
right.
The sad thing about these stories is when these men of power that can make your life, they can change your life. You just never really know. There are some people that are mad that things didn't work out, or there are people that really are predators, and it's like you can kind of like get away with it for so long,
Right.
Because people don't want to like rock the boat in this city.
I ain't gonna never
And
get
some
a
people,
movie.
some people say, like I've had this conversation with people not outside the business and say, well, these girls, they got what they wanted, they're working. But here's the thing. You get a young girl who moves out to LA to pursue her dream, to be an actress, model, singer, whatever. And, her family, her neighborhood's doubting her and everything. And maybe she's out here, she's homeless, sleeping in her car. Then she meets somebody who can give her an opportunity, right? But he's like, yo, you gotta give her some ass. And she probably was like, damn, I don't want to do it, but I want to prove everybody wrong. Maybe this one time won't hurt. I fuck for free all these other times and got nothing. Maybe I'll do it this one time and get my career launched. Then they do it. Then they run out of money. After that project is gone, then the position comes up again, and then they just end up burying it and then become successful. But then they get addicted to the fame, the lights, the fans and everything. And it's hard because I think sometimes that's how they hate the business, but they still stay in it. And I think they hate the business because of what they had to do to get there, but they're addicted to the fame.
Yeah.
So it's sad that men and women, because it's not just men who are preying on these. There's some executive women who are doing it too. It's sad that they take that opportunity and prey on somebody who's weak like that.
Or let's play another.
You're right. The business is addictive.
It's a horrible
It's
thing,
very
but
addictive.
or some powerful person just scared that person into a situation where they didn't know a way out. Like imagine if you was 19 years old. Now you're a man, but you ain't gonna let nothing happen. But imagine if you was in a room with Richard Pryor and y'all drinking and you just not paying attention and this nigga reach his hand down your pants. Now you gonna smack the shit out of him.
How you get that fucking close though?
But I mean, it's Richard
He got
Pryor.
some long ass arms.
Listen. Kevin Spacey was in the room with that. Well, how old was the kid? He was a teenager.
yeah,
okay.
And they drinking. He's not paying attention. And this dude grabbed his thing and he's confused because you're a kid. Of course you're gonna smack him, but it's your hero.
When you're a famous celebrity, and all of us have had a taste of celebrity, it's a very powerful thing. You can get away with so much stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to get away
Right.
with, and some people just take advantage of that.
And you don't know if
see
they're
how
gonna believe you.
You see how someone looks at you with those adoring eyes, and they're just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm meeting you. And
Right.
you know you can almost do anything. You can talk to them any old kind of crazy way. So imagine if it's someone on that level.
And my boy Darius McCrary, Eddie Winslow from Family Matters, he was on TMZ this week saying how when he was a kid he got touched by an executive. That's crazy because so it's crazy when you're a kid and you get touched like that, and now you're confused at an early age of what the hell is going on, and you grow up, and like I said again, you get addicted to that fame, and then you're like, man, but I'm confused on what's going on. I don't think he is confused, but I mean that's got to be tough.
I wonder if this is going to open up the floodgates, if it's going to open up opportunities for, for things to be done the right way.
Yeah, I hope so.
You know what I mean? Or is this going to be a phase for a couple of weeks of outrage?
It's just going to be a phase for a couple. There's too many powerful men. They're not ready to do shit right.
But what needs to happen is not just in the entertainment industry, but in every sector, in every job level. Politics. You got people on Capitol Hill coming out. You know, women saying that George W. Bush.
And they try to cover it up.
But the money cleans a lot of stuff up.
Yeah.
And that's why it's going to be just a little
and
thing
success.
that blows up for a little while. And when we look back a year in review, it'll be like, oh, in 2017, that whole scandal came, and it'll be.
Then they're making a movie about it.
What's sad to me, so what's sad to me as a black woman, I have to say this, is there's been a lot of women that have accused people of things over the years, and like a lot of times black women just gets brushed on the rug. She's just a hoe, she's a gold digger, she's a whore.
What was her name? Anita Hill?
Anita Hill's one of them. The woman who was raped by Mike Tyson. The list goes on and on and on.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that are out there that they just were kind of just disqualified. People didn't care about it.
Right.
People just kind of like didn't really care.
Well, that's just,
and now white women coming out, and it seems like it's like an epidemic, just like the opioid thing now. It's like an epidemic when it's them, but when it was us, it's like that's just another gold digging whore, and we have to stop that as well as black people.
That's society on a whole. Black women are the most disrespected.
The most
facts
in this country. Like if you go back. OJ used to be this black wife, nobody cared. OJ killed Nicole. It's like we got to get this.
Hell break loose.
So and so cheats on his black wife, no big deal. He cheats on his
how could he?
NBA player cheats on a white wife. It's like, oh my God, he's the worst guy. So we've seen that for forever.
And like, black women,
people don't care. Black women, so many black women in this country missing. They're not looking for. White girl missing for a weekend. It's like, yo, billboards.
Amber Alert.
They show you. This is what I said before. It's like when we say Black Lives Matter. It's because we're talking to ourselves also.
Right.
Because white people show us every day that white lives matter. They don't have to say it.
Right.
When a kid shoots up a church and you take him to Burger King before you take him to prison, that's white lives matter.
Absolutely.
When a kid rapes a girl behind a dumpster and the judge says he got too much promise to go to jail for that long.
Incredible.
That's white lives matter.
Right.
That's why we have to keep saying it and
They
screaming
made up a word called affluenza for the dude that ran over the people and stole the car and was drunk.
But that's white lives matter.
Yeah. If these incidents aren't the proof that black folks need to stop fighting amongst each other and to get ourselves together back to like how we were in the 60s where we had some kind of like unity. We got to get back to that. Yeah. We have to get back to that.
It's never gonna happen.
Yeah. But we have to try.
And I hope so. Maybe not lifetime. Maybe not our lifetime.
I don't know. Us in Hollywood at the forefront that have people looking at us. We have to use our platforms. We have to use our influence.
You should, because you mixed. You like the
I'm
golden
mixed,
child.
But I'm real black though.
But you know what? Though, I'm gonna say this right now. You notice the people who doing the most are the mixed ones. Jesse Williams stepping up.
Yeah.
All the mixed kids. Kaepernicks.
You know why? You know why? Because they got it from both sides growing up.
That's what I'm saying.
And people think that we had it easier in some regards. Yes, because I will say sometimes white folks, oh, you're not like them. And I have to like correct them. Yes, I am. I'm still black. Don't do that.
Right.
We're not really black. You're tan. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Like they try it, and it's like you almost have to become militant.
Right.
Because you have to get the respect from your black
Malcolm X was that same way.
I hate it. I cannot tell you how many times I have conversations with black girls, right, that are my friends, and they'll say, well, you a little mixed girl. You didn't really know what it's. I'm like, I have to stop them right away. And I'm like, I have to get it. I get it from you, and I get it from the white people. And it's like, and it's very, very, very painful. It really is. Imagine your family members. You don't feel like you're enough for them still. Like it's not a feeling of you getting everywhere. It's a feeling you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. You feel like you don't really fit anywhere. It's really tough.
That was my whole kindergarten to 6th grade. We went to school. We were bused to a white neighborhood when I was growing up. An hour and a half bus ride every morning from kindergarten to 6th grade. All white school. I was one of like 11 black kids in the whole school from kindergarten to 6th grade. Got in a fight every day. Every day, Monday to Friday, we would get in a fight because at 3 o'clock the bell would ring for the kids that lived, they called it out of the district. So the teacher would come down the hallway, out of district. For all the kids that lived out the district, we would have to line up and wait for the school bus. And we was just sitting there. Kids would just run by, throw shit at us. spoiled milk, rocks, bricks. All get the niggas. At 3 o'clock, it was get the niggas.
Wow.
Every day.
Wow.
Every day.
Did they put you on the basketball team?
They like you go to the games.
Look, me and my brothers, my father.
Tony Rock
the rule
averaged
was-
77 points a game.
The rule, my dad's rule was if your brother's in a fight, you in a fight.
Yeah.
So,
That's all day.
so even if like somebody was trying to jump,
Now, which dad
Andre-
was this? Which dad was this?
No, that was my pops, my
Okay,
real
all
pops.
right.
So it was like if somebody's trying to
Oh,
fight
y'all
my
all
Andre,
went to that school?
we all jumped him. Somebody trying to fight Chris, we all jumped him. So it was like, yo, don't fuck with the Rock Brothers, they crazy. That was the thing.
The Rock
but
is in
then
the building.
I graduate, and my mother's like, that was so traumatic. I'm sorry I did that to y'all. Now y'all can go to junior high in the neighborhood.
Got it.
So I went from all white to all black.
Wow.
So now I'm coming to school, first day, good morning, teacher. And the kid's like, what the fuck's wrong with this dude? Good morning, teacher.
It's funny how our lives kind of.
And I'm standing to read, and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? Because that's what we did at the white school.
So you were too
It's
polite.
funny
So
how-
I did. Yeah.
You're
It's
too
funny
proper
how,
now.
I
But
didn't
see,
fit in.
that's our lives kind of parallel because I was born in Northern California on an Army base in Fort Ord, California. And then my mom and dad split up for a hot second, and she moved us to New York, Jamaica, Queens, New York.
Yeah,
So now
yeah.
we in Jamaica, Queens, fighting blacks and Puerto Ricans all day.
Yeah.
So we went from being in Northern California with cowboy boots on and high water pants, talking like white guys. Hey, guy, want to play ball? And they
Yeah.
was beating our ass.
Yeah,
so we
man.
had to fight. So we had the best of both worlds too.
So actually, I got a question for both of y'all. I think it's the elephant in the room. Both of you have very, very famous brothers in the business, right? So how does it feel being the younger brother of a cat that basically opened doors for you, and not just y'all, but for like every fucking body, especially you, Tone? Like your brother opened doors for like many comics.
Right.
It feels great. It feels great. It feels great, and it's also like I'm just in a great position because I saw the whole thing.
Right.
Does it ever
So-
feel intimidating? Like, okay, when you
No,
first
no.
step out there, like, are people gonna expect, like, when you're the kid of like a superstar athlete, am I gonna be able to measure up?
It did at first. That's why when I first got into the game, I went by Guy T. I didn't go by Guy Tori, and I didn't tell people me and Joe were brothers. That's why if you watch the first Def
world
Comedy
famous.
Jam, he brought me on as a world famous Guy T, not Guy Tori, and I told him don't use my last name because I knew I was just starting into comedy and I had big shoes to fill because he had already done Poetic Justice. And he has hosted Jeff Jam a couple of years after Martin. So it was like, man, I don't want anybody to know because that was too big of shoes to fill. But once I kind of got my weight up, I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it.
It was never intimidating for me because if people that know me know I'm the most confident person in the world, number one.
Especially when you're drinking.
And number two,
Jesus Christ.
and number two, like in our neighborhood when we grew up, I was more famous than my brother.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah,
I
'cause
played
he's kinda
basketball, I
quiet.
played football. I was the
He is
super
quiet.
athlete. I had the pretty girls and the fresh
No.
bikes.
In the beginning, Tony used to
So
be quiet.
I was
no
the
joke, man.
I was the superstar in Bed-Stuy. So it was like, yo, you Tone's brother. So it was I never looked at it like to be intimidated.
I loved his show.
Oh, I loved it too.
Man, the skits,
Yeah.
Yeah.
taking black people backwards and all that funny shit he did. Like,
Follow the dollar in the black community.
Man.
Yeah.
His stuff was great.
He's definitely one of the faces on my Comedy Mount Rushmore. Chris is definitely one of those faces on my Comedy Mount Rushmore.
Who else is on there? We got to ask that question.
Man, Pryor's on there.
Pryor,
you know,
naturally.
George Carlin's on there. I got more than 4. Sorry.
Go.
Yeah, you can't
Whoopi's
let-
on there. Whoopi Goldberg is on there,
Oh,
man.
man.
And Lenny Bruce is on there.
Okay.
Eddie Murphy's definitely on there.
Okay.
And I gotta say this, my brother Joe, and really the whole couple of seasons of Def Jam, because that's what inspired
Damn,
me
you got a
to
whole-
do stand-up.
Right.
You got 20 motherfuckers on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
That's a lot of
Martin,
faces on there.
Martin, I always say Martin and Joe, because those are the ones that really, when I watched Def Comedy Jam, that's what made me want to do stand-up.
Right.
It was nobody else but Def Jam. Watching those guys on that first season of Def Jam, from Eddie Griffin to Bernie Mac to Steve Harvey to Cedric to all those guys, man. It was and DL. I mean, sorry, Steve. But those are the guys who inspired me to do stand-up comedy, man. So they're always gonna be on my Comedy Mount Rushmore.
All right. Now, changing gears a little bit, I started the segment asking you about your relationship because we have a relationship topic, actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
You all right,
relationship topic.
You all right, producer? You all right?
Right.
That was funny.
You cracking up over here.
That was funny.
You all
Wasn't
right?
that funny? Goddammit. But go ahead.
All right. So, anyways, talking with my girls this weekend about like dating your type, and you are in a relationship now. So, did your girl that you have now, was she your type, or did
No.
you go against type to finally find love?
No. You know what? I just like I like pretty girls. So
Yeah, but it's a million of them.
she was
though.
pretty, and I started talking to her, and then she was so cool and down to earth. I was like, she's actually kind of cool. Like my girl's born and raised in Germany. Her mother's German, her father's African. So
Okay.
she's not like
Oh, so she a military
she's not an
kid?
American.
She's Giraffican.
Yeah. She's not an American black girl, so it's none of this.
Oh, so how long she been here?
It ain't none of that. She don't get it. Like she's just like, A lot of the Americanized
So
things.
it's different. So it's different.
Yeah,
for you.
it's super different. Super different.
Guy and I, the single ones on the show.
Right.
Steve has a girlfriend.
Guy's single by choice.
I,
Guy can have a girlfriend right in an hour if he want one.
I've been looking at these articles, and there's one that says in the Huffington Post, it's how dating against type might find you love. Because I tell my friends like that I try to sway to go different than what they always do. Your type has kept you single, right?
What is your
Data
type?
dude from Arby's.
Whatever your type is, I'm just saying.
What's your type?
My type has kept me single as well.
Tony,
I'm mostly
she only mess with dime niggas.
I mess with bad bitch niggas.
Yeah, if he ain't a dime nigga.
What's that?
Is it? They gotta be a bad bitch.
he
Like
gotta be
a pretty boy. You like pretty boys?
I do like pretty boys, tall, 6'2", 220 and up, and nice teeth, and kind of have the Superman kind of features, chiseled chin, whatever.
Okay, all right.
She like a nigga look like Zeus.
But you bring up a good point though, because and I'm taking back to sports real quick. What's the coach? Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll, when he was in NFL at first, he wasn't winning when he was in NFL. He went to USC and he changed his whole philosophy of coaching because he said, the way I've been doing it has not been working. So he changed it and became a player's coach because he was a hard ass at first, and then he found success at USC and then on to Seattle. So what you're saying, it makes a good point, because sometimes we put these chains on ourselves. And these stipulations on ourselves, and like we're not winning, and that can go for your career too. If you doing something the same way all the time and you're not working, change that shit. So in the dating world, I mean, maybe I need to go against the grain a little bit.
My sister says that if you always do what you always did, you'll always get
same
what you
result.
got.
So true.
Exactly.
My sister always says
The
that.
definition
I went on a
of
date.
insanity. But go ahead.
I went on a date this past week with a little against type. I did.
Against type?
He wasn't chiseled chin.
No, he still has.
It was Dan and Green.
I didn't go, listen, I'm not gonna go that far against type.
He still had chiseled chin.
But personality, like just a little bit different. Like his personality is like way different. And I'm not saying he's gonna be my boyfriend or like that, but it was cool to just be open to just different kinds of people.
Now, where'd you meet him?
Right.
Tinder.
Word?
That's what's
I
up.
matched with a few people.
Do you realize Tinder stock just went through the roof? They're like, wait a minute, you
I'm
can
a
meet
Tinder.
Claudia on Tinder?
That commercial's coming like in 2 weeks.
Yo, they're gonna be calling you
Are you on
quick.
that special Tinder, like the private invite?
No, but
Is that Tinder?
I was telling my friend Annie,
Oh, there's like celebrity Tinder?
I'm like,
Yeah.
there needs to be okay.
Word?
Yeah, there is.
I need to get on that because like regular Tinder is a little bit grimy.
Is this a relationship expert?
Are you on Nerd Tinder, Jerron?
Wait, they have
desperate guy.
special
He's on baseless Tinder.
We're gonna go to break
Steve's
right now.
on white Tinder.
And we got a guest coming in, and we're gonna
Yeah,
talk
I need
about more about relationships
That's
when we
right.
come back.
I need some backup with the
Need
fellas
some
here.
backup. Yeah, you got all this testosterone in there. The Unstable Podcast. We'll be back in a minute, y'all.
Oh, I think I win a lotto. Can you believe me, brother? Like for real. Oh, I think I win a lotto. Can you believe me?
Welcome back to the Unstable Podcast.
That's right.
Know
That's
what
right.
we're watching here.
I don't know what
Oh,
the
we're
hell
gonna show this, right? We're gonna show this coming back from our
please
commercial.
show that video,
Please
yeah.
show this.
Unstable Podcast, y'all. If you want to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Unstable Podcast. That's with the D. Unstable with the D Podcast. On Facebook, we're at Unstable _D, Unstable _D. YouTube, Unstable Podcast, Unstable Podcast, and email us at unstablepodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you, Guy Torres.
Yes.
All right, before we took a break, we were talking about relationships and how dating your type is probably not the best idea because dating your type has gotten you exactly where you are right now. When people say, girl, he's not my type, I don't know about him. Okay, well, your type, how's that working out for you?
And that's true because a lot of women date the same type of men sometimes, and men too date the same type of women, and they get and it's abusive. And it's like, I always meet these dogs. Well, if you got kibbles and bits around your goddamn neck, that's why you're getting them dogs.
Well, yeah.
So maybe you have to go against the grain sometimes
Always that
and
list.
change your shit.
But it's easier said than done because how do you deprogram yourself to stop being attracted to what you're attracted to? You know what I mean? So it's like a kind of a catch-22.
Well, no. Type doesn't mean you're. What type doesn't necessarily mean.
It's physical and
Right.
and just personality, right?
Right. So I'm just saying it doesn't mean just what they look
Personality
like.
should be the
Like
most,
I'm not
though.
attracted to this person. That's looks.
Well, no.
That's initially it's looks.
Initially, but sometimes you get the same traits in a person. Like I have a
Right.
friend that always ends up getting with a guy that's married, and she keeps getting the same thing. And she
Yeah.
says she doesn't want it, but she always attracts a married man.
I
And
used to
then
have
she's
problem
like,
with strippers, yeah.
Because she probably got a side bitch tattooed on her forehead.
anyway, right.
We have a guest in the house, though.
We have a guest.
Who's gonna break all of this down?
A young lady who was at our live show last week, and she got up
know
and made
her.
comments, and we talked on Instagram. ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Naisha Pettit.
Naisha.
Actress.
Hey.
I say your name right?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely correct.
And we'll put her social media on the screen. So
In
y'all
relation
can
to
follow.
Bob Pettit, the best.
No.
No,
Dwight
okay.
Pettit, the attorney, is my dad.
Okay.
So anyway, thank you guys for having me out tonight. Claudia, especially, thank you for the invite. It's more than appreciated.
Absolutely. You know, I'm here with the fellas every week, so it's always good to have another female perspective on the show and to just kind of, because it's 3 against 1 usually.
Yeah.
No, we got your back. You,
I mean,
You got balls sometime too, though, Claudia.
What are you talking
Come
about?
on now.
Yeah,
I know
she's
you a long time
bossing,
too.
But the more important thing too is sisters sticking together, so it's lovely.
That's right.
And I appreciate you.
So I saw her, she commented on our podcast on her page, and she was like, I went to see the podcast and, Unstable Podcast, and she's like, made a comment about women throwing pity parties. And I took it like she was like outing me.
Yeah,
so
you went
I,
off. You was kind of hot about that.
No, I sent her a message, and I didn't go off on her in a message.
No, we were polite.
No, we were polite.
Oh,
but
maybe
I
a
like
real
that.
person you was.
But I like that. I feel like that's the mature thing to do. Like if you have a feeling about something, like how you had a feeling about what we were saying, and then I had a feeling about what you said, and then we talked, and now you're here because
Yeah.
that's how mature women or people do.
Black girls
Absolutely.
rock.
And I'm like,
You know?
she has a perspective, and we all have different points of view, and I want to hear what you feel about this topic. I thought you'd be perfect for this
No,
topic.
that was amazing. For us to have a little disagreement and then
Right.
for her to invite me down, it says everything about her character.
What's the pity party? You were saying.
Well, it was just their podcast was amazing. They did a really great live show. And,
Thank you.
Claudia was hosting it, so she put the subject matter out there about how a lot of women feel, and I hate to re-embark this one because you guys already
but
did
it's
it.
okay, though.
But
I don't know
you
what
were
happened.
there.
Recap.
Recap.
It's all
So
good.
basically, she put the subject matter out there that a lot of women feel like it's very hard to find a good guy in LA and America at large, just in the nation. Right. There's sort of an issue with, women being outnumbering to men and men being, sought after good ones, and they're very hard to find because a lot of them are players, this, that, etc. So I think my rebuttal.
You don't think that's true?
No, I don't think that's true personally. I think that, if we really think about it, and I used Claudia as my example, and I think that's where the communication line got crossed, because it did sound when I listened back like I was talking
She's
about
sticking
her.
up for the men.
I was like, well,
Sticking up for
damn.
the men right here.
You look at Claudia, Claudia she's gorgeous. She's perfect. She's a 10.
I'm
Now,
not.
sometimes this is not
she's
about
not.
her either. Some women don't know that. But the thing about it is any of us that are 8, 9s, or 10s, we have about 10 men that are asking to marry us, maybe 5 of which would do it today if we wanted them. But what we're busy doing is going, he's not hard enough. He don't make me laugh. And as women, we're emotional creatures. We're very centered around emotional connection, which I'm that way too. Chemistry is everything. But then we come with the pity party, like there's just no good men. No, that's not true. You don't want them, and I understand it because I don't.
Look at
want
Geron over. Look at Geron. Oh my God.
There you go.
So that's what it was.
Sticking
But,
up for the men. I like that. I agree with that though.
we both got our perspectives that make sense, men and women. But I appreciated her original statement. I appreciated her expressing herself to me, and now
And a
we're
lot
here.
of times I go a little extra hard because I'm with guys, and like until recently they weren't seeing a lot of things like from our perspective. And that night we were supposed to have a speed dating
agree.
event, and no men showed up.
Yeah, I remember.
So it kind of
I think
backed
that-
up my theory that men weren't seeming to show
They
up.
showed up, but
for
it was 2 hours
relationships.
late.
I
They
think
was
that's-
2
You know what I
hours
mean?
late.
So I wanted them to see like this is what we usually deal with when we go out. When we go like you don't really see a lot of options
But
out there.
I think the not showing up has something to do with more of the promotion of it than the men not doing well. I want to ask her, what's been your dating experience? What? See what?
I'll answer that, but I want
promoted
to-
by Steve and his woman currently.
No,
Steve
we
got
all
some promotion?
promoted. No, all of us.
I know.
did.
What I mean, what I
did it
mean
again?
was.
I just started laughing like all of us promoted.
No,
it. I was like, wow.
Gunshot.
What I meant was, let me backtrack.
Nah, nigga.
What I meant was because
No, but we did it. I didn't do it.
can I speak on it?
All right,
Let me speak on
later.
We
it.
need to hear.
What happened was the way the flyer was printed, it was kind of misleading, and it made it seem like it was
All the men had to pay.
all the men had to pay, and the real stuff was in fine print, and the stuff that should have been in fine print was in big print.
Got you.
So they just misread the flyer. That's what I
I
meant.
thought
No,
the
not
women had to pay
misread the
too.
flyer, but it's
Like,
all right.
No,
that's
the
what
women
it
were
read.
right.
Yeah.
It should have said free women, and then
It
the
should have
guys.
said free for all.
It should have been
Right,
yeah.
exactly. $25 on a Tuesday night at 7:00.
Well, it was
Because
$25, but it was 10 for guys.
But
If
you can't
came
charge in LA.
Right.
You just can't.
Right.
Everyone feels that they're a celebrity. No one wants to pay.
The promotion. That's all
You know
I
what I
thought.
mean?
I think it can happen again. We just got to do
No,
it
we
differently.
definitely. No, we ain't got to explain. Claudia just being funny.
No, I saw you behind me,
No, I was
motherfucker.
like,
I saw you.
I
I felt you.
I just did like this. I
What
said,
was your
all of us
question?
promoted it.
The question was, how's your dating experience been in LA?
Okay, so fair enough. But first, let me say, have hot girls contact and invite the guys, and they'll come. You know, not the guys inviting them so much. Have girls invite them.
Okay.
But
I did. I reached out to like 10 guys, like the Tinder
And
guys.
all 7 of yours showed up.
Yeah,
I was like, come on, man. I invited all the guys I matched up with on Tinder, like, I'll be there. Just come through. And none of them showed up.
I love your honesty.
Man.
No, go ahead.
No.
So my dating experience in LA, you know, I mean, I think that I'm basically pretty much indicative of what I just said. You know, like I'm aware of the fact that I turned down a lot of good options, and there's nothing wrong with them, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with me. And I know, just like Claudia, you know, I've met every walk of life, from doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs, guys that got their shit going on. Can we cuss on here? Is that okay?
Damn, Indian
You can swear. No, we swear.
Okay. You know, guys, yeah. Indian
Plus, you
chiefs.
already swear. So,
I mean, it's a little too late, right? Yeah. But I mean, they got their stuff going on. They're smart. They're gentlemen, whatever it is. But sometimes it's just a chemistry you feel. And for me, it doesn't necessarily come down to a type. So I'll like kind of reel this back into what we're talking about. It's not necessarily a type. It's just something I feel. I feel like I'm very spiritually intrinsic, and there's just something I feel with some people. You know, and there's just something I don't. And when I don't feel it, I can't move with it. I'm like virtually incapable of doing shit I don't want to do.
So to your point, there can be plenty of good so-called men, but that doesn't mean that they're good for you.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean it's a match.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So you can't throw a blanket statement out just saying it's hard to date in LA when it could be you.
Well, I also do feel that this is a different type. We're in Hollywood. There's LA, and then there's also Hollywood.
Right,
and I feel like Hollywood encourages a Peter Pan mentality where, why do I have to settle down right now? Like in the middle, you know, the Midwest, 25 years old, you have a job.
18,
30 years old,
you're trying to find your soulmate.
Yeah, you're getting married. Like that's kind of like what everyone does. Here, you have people that you look up to, that you want to aspire to be like career-wise, that they're not settling down. Like, so it's kind of like, well, I feel like that might affect people are not really. They're not really doing with it.
Well, your career kind of takes precedent. If you did the whole undertaking of moving out of whatever Midwestern city you lived in and left your family back in Kentucky, you're here. Your career takes precedent over.
Absolutely,
3,000 miles from home.
Tony and I had that conversation earlier that as comedians and as artists, sometimes we're not normal. We're not the normal 9-to-5 guy. We're not wired that way. Our schedules aren't that way. So it's kind of harder to date I know in my situation, it's hard to date me when I'm on the road 40 weeks a year. It's only 365 days a year. I'm only in town 150 of those days. 50 of those days are half days. I'm flying out on Wednesday, back on Monday. Another 50, I'm either auditioning or working. So I only really have 50 free days to do what the fuck I got to do. Right. And that's tough to get to know somebody and date somebody in those times. So I got to grind to get to a position to where I'm home more. So when you're dating an artist, you got to make sure you take it, and male and female, because the women, fellas, when you're dating your woman and she's in entertainment, you got to realize they're not normal. They're not your normal 9-to-5 woman. Yeah.
You might have to cancel a date on Valentine's Day because you had a callback for a big show, and that happened to me. My boyfriend, who wasn't in the business, got mad at me and didn't really want to be around anymore.
Or courtside tickets to the Laker game. I'm sorry. If I get courtside tickets to the Laker game and we supposed to go to dinner that night, we go to dinner tomorrow night. I'm getting courtside motherfucking
tickets. Our buddy
tickets.
Ruben Paul had tickets to the World Series and had to cancel some plans. It happens.
But that's what I mean. Like it's those kind of factors. And maybe I shouldn't have said Los Angeles, but definitely in this industry that we're in, it's hard.
Right. Yeah,
and then
much to her point, like that's a really good point. I always tell my friends, date below Pico. Because I mean,
South of Wilshire. South of Wilshire.
That's where the best weed is.
Hold on one second. Hold on. For those who don't know, LA, Pico is so anti-Hollywood based.
Wherever
it's not
you
Hollywood.
live, just find Martin Luther King Boulevard and
once
date
you
below
go south of Wilshire, it's on the pop.
Yeah. South. So this show is global, so you got to explain what that means.
Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Every Martin Luther King in every city. So just find Martin Luther King and do your thing.
You'll be good. I mean, but you're right. In Hollywood, it's a very ambitious mentality. I mean, just like much in Manhattan, those type of cities, it's the same dilemma. A lot of people aren't looking to marry and settle down and do those life normalities, much of which they might regret later, maybe not. But if you are someone who is looking for those things, it does become a little difficult in the mainstream Hollywood, because everybody, all of us, are on a page where we are focused on a goal and we kind of have our blinders on, and we're not as open to what it takes to get that connection.
Sure. And if you meet a real man who wants his foundation, who wants to have his financials straight and his head straight, and he wants to take care of you, so if you don't want to work, and you can have that situation in your relationship, you're gonna have a guy who's gonna put his career first, like Tony said. His job is gonna come first because he wants to be that provider. Exactly. And in Hollywood, everybody's trying to get there. Everybody's not there yet.
It's frustrating when you're in the business and you meet someone else in the business and they're like amazing, they think you're amazing, but then one of them is like
jealous.
That too. Or, I'm still trying to get to that next level. And you're like, well, damn, when is it going to be time then? It's never really going to be time because, then there's a level after that.
You know why?
And there's a level after that. I've had that happen where it's like I found someone that was, like, dope, like, dope match, but the career thing. And what can you say? Because I've had to ask someone to be patient with me about that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like as comics, we pretty much working. I see it like a lot of comics are working the way we work, like 40, 50 weeks on a road. We working like that. In our minds, we're thinking we're working like this now so that we'll get to a point one day that we don't have to work like this.
But does it never really stop, though?
It doesn't really. But when you get to that point, you're thinking when you get to that point, then I'll be able to do all this stuff. So.
Or you can just take your woman on the road with you.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's what I do.
But this is your dream.
Blank.
It's something you
I
want to do since you was a
with
teenager. You're not looking at it like, okay, I'm going to get to this age or this point and I'm going to stop. It's all you know.
And we look at it like we don't look at it as taking someone. A lot of times people don't look at us taking someone on the journey with them. Like we want to get to our destination first, and then life starts. And I think we got to stop doing that. Like I'm trying to do that to with myself. Like stop waiting to live and stop waiting to go there. Like just do it now.
Like you said, you said Rube, and we're gonna bring up our good friend Ruben Paul because Steve just said his name earlier. He was telling me about his girlfriend wanted to get married for years, and he was like, "Well, the time's not right." And a year later, like I'm just waiting to get to my stuff together. And then we had him talk maybe 3 months ago. For how long has he been married now?
About a couple of months.
About let's say 6 months ago, we had a talk, and he's like, "You know what? The time is never gonna be perfect. I'm just gonna do it, man. I love her. She loves me."
There
and
you
he got
go.
married.
But that's dope. You gotta like be brave and fearless. Just like with having a baby. People say, "Oh, when I get this much money," and the people that that are saying this, like they're okay, right? And I'm thinking, if everyone thought like that, like society would have no births. Like like there's plenty of poor people that are like having happy lives together that just have simple things. You know what I mean?
Homeless people. I see homeless couples downtown who are in love and having sex.
Right. You always need to plan, but if you want to make God laugh, tell him what you're going to do tomorrow.
Right.
Point blank.
The other thing is, too,
plans, but
in your situation, when you're that spouse, male or female, you got to make sure you do everything to make your mate feel comfortable and secure in that relationship while they're on their journey. Because if you give him any type of flack, like, well, when it's going to take, how long, why now, then that's where the doubt comes in. So if you're going to go on that journey with him, make sure you're on that journey with him or her.
Make your woman
Yeah, I think two things you can do is either find somebody wired just like you, and that's where the power couple things come in, because you can support one another on that journey, and really two can just be better than one.
Right.
Or the other thing, back to the original subject matter, is opposites attract. Find somebody who's a firefighter or a doctor or doing something completely different where your schedule
somebody that
doesn't
work at
conflict with
Arby's.
his.
Right.
Or that.
I'm going to get somebody to work at Arby's.
We did we did veer off of dating from a type, and we talked about timing in the show instead, but we can get more into that another time. But the type thing is not working. It's a clear thing.
Yeah, that's relative, because I think sometimes as entertainers, when you try to do the exact same thing, it becomes a clash. So maybe somebody who's just a little bit opposite of you balances what you do.
Right.
Outside the box.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us with the relationship topic. Will you stick around for the rest of the show?
Absolutely.
I wish more sisters would come together after disagreement and be able to talk and communicate.
That was fly.
Because the thing about it is, I hate that, and I hate that that's what's going on in the entertainment world, especially in the comedy world with black women comedians. A lot of them are fighting now and not bonding and helping each other. And I'm glad that this union right here happened.
I think that's... Okay, I'm getting beat out.
We're
But
just
you know
going
what?
straight to the
It takes
neighborhood
two
watch.
mature people to make that happen. So thank you for coming.
Thank
very
you.
Evolved of you.
Our guest,
Very.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to go to the neighborhood watch. Before I go any further, I know you can stop the helicopter. This is a special moment right here. And I'm going to have you bring it back. A lot of people don't know. Naisha Pettit is the reason that I have my happiness right now. I went to her.
Oh, talk about that.
I went to her birthday party like 3 years ago, and I saw this chick that was fine, and I scoped her, and I checked her out, but it looked like she was with somebody. So I let it slide. But then the next year, I came back to her birthday party, and I saw her again, and I said, I'm not going to take no chances. I'm going to go speak to her. And just like Tone said, she was nice, and it was like a vibe, and it was kind of caught me off guard because, L.A. women got that reputation of being a little hard to date and hard to approach, and she came right at me, and we talked and hit it off. Here we are 2 years later because of this young lady right here.
Look at you.
Can I do something?
And took me on a double date, too, on our first date.
I warmed her up.
Can I do something real quick? This is totally off topic. I think we should have hit this earlier in the show and we didn't. But shout out to Tiffany Haddish, who was the first black female comedian
Yes,
to
so
host
proud.
Saturday Night Live. Great job, Tiffany Haddish. You know her story. She was in the foster care program and all that stuff. But it was surprising to me that somebody like Whoopi Goldberg or Wanda Sykes hadn't done it before then, because those are great in their own right. Yeah. But shout out to Tiffany Haddish for hosting and doing a great job at Saturday Night Live.
Congratulations, Tiffany.
Yes. All right, helicopter. All right, Tone, this is the part of the show where we have our neighborhood watch, where some people in our community just mess up so bad we got to kick them out.
Okay.
So this week we got UCLA players who actually just landed. We got the news story right here. There's the video right there coming up. No, it's not going to be there, Jerron? Never mind. So anyway, LeAngelo Ball, Cody Riley, and Jalen Hill went over to China and got caught stealing, dude. As hard as it is for black people in America and the reputations that we have and the myths and the stereotypes, you're going to go over to China with UCLA and get caught stealing?
Now, first of all, who is Ball? Who is LeAngelo Ball? Who is he?
But that don't mean... But his father is a good father. He might have slipped.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just
saying for listeners, like
for
Lonzo
listeners.
Ball's younger brother.
Lonzo Ball's younger brother.
The very outspoken father that gets into it.
Explain who he is.
First of all...
Big baller brand.
Okay, first of all, if you're black and you're in any Louis Vuitton store on the planet, all eyes are on you.
They're watching you.
Yeah.
Okay, now add to that, you're black and you're
6'3".
6'5"
Right.
in the Louis Vuitton store. Now add to that, you're black and you're 6'5" in the Louis Vuitton store in China.
Right.
You might as well be Godzilla walking around that fucking store.
And you're black. Did you not?
You might as well be walking around like,
Right.
That's how much they watching you.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially after the white boy that went over to, was it North Korea, that stole the banner and they sent him back in a coma and he died?
Right.
Remember that? He was brain
And then we're
dead.
going to go do that.
Right.
Huh?
And you know, go ahead. But you know, you gotta realize. I mean, people were saying that his brother's in the NBA, where he can ask his brother for money, and you know, sometimes they're kids though.
Yeah.
I mean, we all did dumb
No,
stuff
I
when we were in
understand
our
it.
teens.
Look, my younger brothers, they still commit crimes.
Yeah.
They in Brooklyn right now, like, yo, we caught homie last night.
Right.
Well, I talked to them and they're like, yo, we got dude last night, man. I'm like,
I
come on,
hung
man.
with your brother. I ain't going to say his name, but that's...
he will click it on you real quick.
Right.
So
So
that's
I mean,
That's who we're kicking out the neighborhood?
All three of them, because you can't do that. You know you're being watched.
See, I think you're being petty, man.
Listen, I understand that they're kids, but listen, well, let's kick their parents out then, because somebody has to let them know you're in China. They're killing people for stuff. And you're going to go over there and do something?
Let me ask you a question. Steve, you ever sold drugs?
When I was younger.
Okay. Younger. At what age?
18.
Okay. And how old is he?
I didn't have a father.
Oh, no, that's no. No,
He wasn't one of your customers?
His dad was a crackhead, so.
I'm sorry. You could have kept that money in the family. Keep that black dollar in rotation. I'm just saying.
So what I'm saying is,
I didn't have a father.
I disagree with kicking those guys out the neighborhood, man. They're young. Yes, they made a mistake. We all do dumb stuff when we're young, and sometimes, even if you have the money, stealing, getting stuff for free just feels good. I'm sorry, and getting away with it.
You have to kick them out the neighborhood. Because of what they risk. They risk losing a scholarship to college.
They're young, man.
I understand that, but the risk is greater than some kid that's on the corner. Like,
for
I'm just doing
Louis
this to get some
Vuitton, really?
But you go to UCLA, one of the most expensive, like that's an expensive school, isn't it? Like, what are you doing?
Louis Vuitton, all them Asians on that campus, you can get one made for free. How would you? I can say that I got an Asian girlfriend. I can be racist. I can be racist.
Who actually makes them?
I can be racist. I can say that.
Just get one of her little cousins and make you
So
one for $8.
I know you kicking them out, but I disagree with the kick out.
Yeah, they out for me. What do you think, Tone?
Yeah, I think I got to kick him out.
Yes. CJ.
The bell boy.
She's thinking about it because he's like, he has a chiseled chin.
Yeah, I am. He might make it in a few years. His brother's rich. I will kick the ones that aren't related to the rich one. They gotta go.
Naisha, you're our guest.
Those niggas should know better.
Naisha, you're the guest. What do you think?
Well, I get both sides of that. I do think there's a lot to be said about being young and dumb because we've all done some shit. We're like, well,
Absolutely.
I would not do that again. At the same time, you are educated. You do have a 2-parent home. You do understand you are on
They're freshmen, so they're
foreign
being
grounds.
educated.
Both parents in the home.
Yeah, and you're on foreign grounds. And I mean, you saw what just happened in North Korea. So you have to know that there's a large risk in place for that.
You can't steal
Your
from that.
role models. What if they would have got away with that? They'd have been on Instagram. Yo, cop this stuff from China. Come on, you know how these kids
But
are.
sometimes you're wired. Like, what's the white actress kept getting caught stealing? What's her name? Stayed in jail.
5 black people like, well, white actress.
Was it Winona Ryder?
Yeah,
She
there you
took the
go.
maniac
her too, but the other one, the younger one.
The one that drive the car off, speed off all the time. Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're just wired that way to want to
know, the white chick,
But
that
white
was in the
people
movie.
get away with that, and they get like 1 week of rehab. We get murdered.
No,
for that.
because listen, stop doing that, black people. Stop saying if it was a white person.
Right.
Stop doing that. Stop. We got to stop doing. If we do one thing here tonight, black people got to stop saying if it was a white person, it wouldn't have happened that way. Yes, we know that. We know the system ain't fair. So stop thinking if it was black, it would be. If it was white, it'd be different. We know that.
The system
we know
works
that I could go
perfect.
outside right now and pee on the corner and get the same amount of time as Meek Mills.
Right.
Yeah.
And a white guy could go shoot somebody and get 6 months.
Burger
We know
King.
that.
We know that.
Stop
We
saying
know it's
if it
not
was
fair.
white because it ain't fair. So stop wrapping your
The
mind around that.
system works perfectly.
Yeah, it
Stop
ain't
acting like
fair.
it's broken.
Speaking. Okay, so we're done with the neighborhood. Too?
Yes.
Okay,
Leandro
cool.
Ball, Coley Roddy, Jalen Hill out.
All right, well, segue. Speaking of Meek Mills, FBI launches a probe into a judge who sent Meek Mills to jail, which is a black female, actually.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of shadiness around this case.
Yes.
So he got sent back. He's been on probation for, I think they said since he was like 19. He's been on probation like
Yeah.
half
Long
his
time.
life,
Yeah.
damn near.
Yeah.
And supposedly there was some talk about the judge recommended that he get managed by Charlie Mack and record songs with certain people, and he didn't do it. Like, there's a backstory to this. That's why there's a probe into, the FBI is launching a probe into her intentions. Like, why would you sentence this man to 2 to 4 years when the DA didn't even ask for jail time?
Now, who is Charlie Mack?
I
Explain who
think-
Charlie
Charlie
Mack
Mack
is.
manages, I think, Will Smith. Some big.
Used to manage
Yeah,
Will
so
Smith.
he used to
Yeah.
And yeah,
manage
it's the
to-
greatest from
yeah.
from
Empire.
Empire.
Yeah, he's a big manager. So the judge was gently suggesting to Meek Mills, you should get with these people, my peoples.
Right.
And he didn't. And then his case comes up, and it wasn't being requested to give him jail time, but she took it upon herself to give him 2 to 4 years.
I think the FBI has some stuff already because the FBI don't
Right.
really get involved.
Unless it's-
Unless they
Yeah.
got
they
something.
don't come after you. I think they got some stuff on that judge that corroborates what.
Well, they said
They're
people have been
saying.
sitting in the courtroom since 2016.
Yeah.
So they've been in there watching
Yeah,
her.
I think they got some stuff.
Now, here's the thing with Steve. I got to call you out on some bullshit,
Uh-oh, here we
okay?
go.
Because usually you have 2 or 3 people to kick out the neighborhood, and you only had, the UCLA ball players. Why not? Why didn't you have this judge who sentenced Meek Mills to those 2 to 4 years? Why didn't you kick her out the neighborhood?
She needs to go.
Judge Janice Brinkley is her name.
You should have had
Janice.
her in the whole school.
I ain't
who
fucking
you
with no
kicked out.
judge.
No, I'm just saying though. You usually have more than one
I ain't fucking
person.
with no, 'cause I
but you
saw
picking
those-
on these kids when she should have been kicked out the damn neighborhood because she knows better. She's an adult and she abused her power.
Well, those we don't
She
have
should've been kicked out
all
the
of it
neighborhood.
yet. We
You know
don't have
what?
all of the facts.
When you're
that.
when you're on probation and you're on parole, you got to move different.
Absolutely.
You got to move different.
You got to.
So some more details. Meek's attorney Joe Tacopina has publicly claimed she showed enormous bias against the star by acting very inappropriately, by suggesting he drop his current management, which is Rock Nation, and sign with Philly music figure Charlie Mack, who Meek worked with early in his career. And a source told the FBI,
Charlie Mack
told
is
us
the
of the
first
FBI
memo.
interest in the case. The feds have had an interest in this judge and her relationships. This has been an investigation, and they have been watching her since
they got
April
something.
of
Yeah, they got
2016.
They got
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
You could be out this weekend.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
to your
it'll be
point, Tony Rock, when you a judge, you got to move different.
Emails.
Okay, more outrage on social media this week when Colin Kaepernick was announced as GQ's Citizen of the Year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
And
Absolutely.
I'm sure you guys watch on Twitter as the white supremacists lost their goddamn mind, and they
Right.
were like, "I'm not supporting GQ." I'm like, "You don't get GQ clearly."
Exactly.
The trailer parks.
Exactly.
They don't.
So
yeah.
there's a lot of anger about this. A lot of support from people on the right side of things, I think, but Kaepernick again just
I heard NASCAR canceled their ads in GQ magazine.
so stupid.
And on top, when we're talking about that, the people with the Keurig machine. So Sean Hannity on Fox
Yes.
News, Keurig took his sponsorship from him because he was supporting Roy Moore, who was running
Defending
for
a
Senate,
pedophile.
who's a pedophile. He's defending him, telling people not to rush to judgment when it's clearly he's a pedophile. So Keurig
Right.
quit sponsoring Hannity's show. So people went on social media, white supremacists, and
start
people who
smashing.
and start smashing their coffee machines, the
Here's the video
Keurig
right
coffee
here.
machines
That they paid for.
that they paid for. Keurig already got their money.
Look at these videos
like
right
Easy
here.
E said when they was breaking his CDs.
Yeah,
I don't
he
give a
said
fuck what
they-
they did with them. They paid for
they
them.
paid
Paid for it
already.
already, exactly.
Right.
So and those Keurig machines aren't cheap at all.
And once this dies down, they're gonna go buy another Keurig machine.
Exactly.
So
How
good.
amazing!
But you still need
Or,
coffee.
or an espresso, whatever that shit is.
It's been very telling about the sickness that we have in this country that the white Republican, the GOP, really coming out and supporting white.
They will choose rice
pedophiles.
over right every time.
over
Race
Democrat,
over right.
over what's right.
And in Alabama, that's what some of the supporters said of Judge Roy Moore said, we would rather vote for him, even if it's true, than a Democrat. You'd
Race
rather
over
vote
right.
for a pedophile.
Yes.
Oh, but you want to put country first.
More
That's
women-
putting country first?
More women have been coming forward.
Yes.
14-year-old women,
Yes.
14-year-old girls. He said, I always ask the girls, the mother's permission to date the
Permission.
girls. So clearly they were underage.
Right.
Super sick.
Yeah. And the girl who came out, actually the first girl who was 14, she didn't come out. Washington Post was doing a story, went and sought her out and did an interview, and then the story broke that way. And then they tried to say it was the Democrats that did it, but this woman is a Republican and a Trump supporter.
But not only that, did you hear the story where he said, I didn't do anything without their parents' permission? How old are you that you have to get parents' permission to date somebody?
Right, I just said that.
He was dating chicks with permission. He was dating chicks with permission slips.
I need some of that weed.
So now Sean
I'm
Hannity,
trying to read things and trying to...
Yeah, you got that good weed. I need a bag of that.
I got you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now that I'm back dating again, I'm going to need that. I got to make it bearable.
Shizzle
Gotta make it bearable.
Shizzle chins only.
Listen, I got to break this streak.
Dime niggas. I'm telling you, get you a dude from Arby's and stop messing with them
Why,
dime.
okay, why would I? No.
Get you a normal dude, a librarian, a cat that do construction, or
Okay.
Wait. Okay, so I have a question. You said you only date pretty boys, so they got to be pretty, and they got to have their money up too, though.
No, she
They
dated a few.
They got to be
wasn't.
pretty and paid.
Well, I would like that, but that's not always the case.
Okay.
She
I've
dated
turned
some,
down many a mogul for a good-looking trainer type guy.
Turned
I'm
down
not, I
Donald
don't want to
Trump.
anymore.
Okay.
Okay, anyways, we'll talk about that. All right, lastly, in race relation news, we got more stuff coming up. A Port Richey man beat a woman, then stabbed 3 cops when they responded and lived to tell about it. Guess what race? Okay.
he's
But
Puerto
that goes-
Rican.
that goes right back to what I said. It's
Exactly.
Like, now people are going to say, oh, if he was black, yes, we know that. We
Right.
know it ain't fair. Like,
Right.
okay, we got it.
So he
Can't use it
committed
anymore.
domestic battery and stabbed 3 police officers. Still got away without getting a bullet in his
In
his
their
head.
defense, they didn't take him to Burger King. Okay.
Oh, so they are cracking down a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. He violently resisted, according to the report, cutting 3 officers with a knife before they handcuffed him. They suffered injuries. He faces 2 charges of aggravated battery, blah, blah, blah. He's being held in a county jail. Bail set at $200,000. So it's amazing, right? I've seen a lot of
Not
videos
anymore.
over the weekend
It's
where
just, it's par for the course now.
white men are just taking off on cops, swinging, getting
Yeah.
back in their car, backing up into police
Yeah.
cars, and then getting away. And the cop just like, stop.
You don't kill
But-
what you're familiar with.
Tamar Rice, 12 years old in a park, under 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Get to the scene, blast shots, and he's in a right to carry state, by the way, Ohio, where you can have a gun.
Right.
Because
That's not even
ain't
it's
the same.
It's not breaking news anymore.
But you know the thing is, even though it's not breaking news anymore, and we already know that if you're black, you're going to get an unfair rap. We know all of this. The thing is, we've only really known this in a very front forward fashion for maybe the past 4 years since social media and everybody has a phone.
I disagree.
You know, well, no, it's always been happening. I'm talking
Right.
about how long it's been overexposed.
Got it.
So it's very important to keep saying it. It's very
Right.
important to keep saying, oh, this guy could stab a cop, and because he's white, he could get away with it.
but they're not
You know?
listening. They don't care.
Right.
Well, we got to make them care. And the more you say it, things will click in because people are very clonish that way.
And we got to end it on that note right there. CJ, you gonna finish it up? Any last statement?
I mean,
You back out dating?
I'm back out there, I guess. I'm gonna try to be open to.
So check this out.
the
Can we send a
experiences.
camera crew out with you and film a date?
Oh, that'd be dope.
Just one
Yeah,
date.
we should.
And then and check this
dope.
out. And then we
Yeah.
want to send one out with Jerron because he's
break the
complaining
internet.
too. Out with Jerron, can we pay for a date and send you out on a date?
Fuck yeah.
All right,
Okay.
Claudia.
Free date, yeah.
And Claudia, we'll do the same for you, except your date got to pay. We'll
Okay.
pay for the camera crew.
We'll do that. We will
All
do
right.
it because I want to inspire other women to be open, to get away from their type.
Tone Rock, any final statement?
December 1st, All Deaf Comedy premieres on HBO.
Yeah.
January 10th, Black Card Revolt premieres on BET.
Yeah.
Living Biblically rolls out for CBS in end of January, beginning of February.
CBS money,
And
CBS money.
Every Thursday on NBATV.com, watch the warm up. Myself, Ro Parrish, and Ben Lyons. Peace.
Hold up. That's
All right.
4 different networks he's on. Is that not balling
That's
away?
love.
Yeah, nice.
4
nice.
different
You
networks.
deserve, you
great.
deserve it, honey.
Congratulations,
God is
Tone.
great.
Definitely
Naisha, what you got to say for us, Naisha Pettit?
Oh man, it's just a pleasure to be in the company of such amazing minds and such great comedy. And thank you guys for having me out.
That's her
Thank you for
Twitter, her
coming
social
through.
media information right there at the bottom of the screen. Guy Tori, before we
Hey,
go.
appreciate y'all. Keep following us. Keep listening to us. Keep tuning in. Follow all of us on all our social media handles. And follow our careers and support our careers.
Boom. Peace out, y'all.